2 Kings chapter 23. Now the king sent and gathered to himself all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. The king went up to the house of the Lord with all the men of Judah, and with him all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the priests and the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. He read all the words of the book of the covenant discovered in the house of the Lord for them to hear. Then the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before the Lord, to follow the Lord and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to conform to the words of this covenant written in this book. And all the people took a stand for the covenant. So the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest and the priests of the second order and those who had charge of the weights to bring out of the temple of the Lord all the articles made for Baal and for the sacred wooden image and for all the host of heaven. Then he burned them outside Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron and carried their ashes to Bethel. And he put an end to the idolatrous priests whom the kings of Judah had appointed to burn incense in the high places, in the cities of Judah, and in the places all around Jerusalem. This included those who burned incense to Baal, to the sun, to the moon, to the constellations, and to all the host of heaven. Then he took the wooden image from the house of the Lord to the brook Kidron outside Jerusalem. He burned it at the brook Kidron and ground it to ashes. He threw its ashes on the graves of the sons of the people. So in the house of the Lord he tore down the ritual booths of the male temple prostitutes, the place where the women wove linen garments for the wooden image. Then he led up all the priests from the cities of Judah and defiled the high places, where the priests burned incense, from Geba to Beersheba. And he pulled down the house of the gates by the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, which was to the left of the city gate. Only the priests of the high places did not come up to the altar of the Lord in Jerusalem, for they only ate leavened bread among their brethren. He defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, so no man might make his son or his daughter pass through the fire as an offering to Moloch. Then he removed the horses the kings of Judah dedicated to the sun at the entrance to the house of the Lord, by the offering box of Nathan, the king's eunuch, in the court. He burned the chariot of the sun with fire. As for the altars made by the kings of Judah on the roof of the upper chamber of Ahaz, and the altars Manasseh made in the two courts of the house of the Lord, the king pulled them down and removed them by force. He cast their dust into the brook Kidron. Then the king defiled the house east of Jerusalem, on the south of the Mount of Corruption, which Solomon the king of Israel built for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Sidonians, and for Chemosh, the abomination of the Moabites, and for Milcom, the abomination of the people of Ammon. And he broke in pieces the sacred pillars, and he cut down the sacred wooden images and filled their places with human bones. As for the altar at Bethel, the high altar which Jeroboam the son of Nebat had made, who led Israel to sin, that altar and that high place he tore down and crushed the stones. He ground them into dust and burned the wooden image. As Josiah turned, he saw the tombs on the mountain there in the city. So he went and took the bones out of the tombs and burned them on the altar. He defiled it according to the word of the Lord, which the man of God had spoken when Jeroboam stood at the altar during that festival. And he turned and raised his eyes to the tomb of the man of God who spoke those words. And he said, "What gravestone is this that I see?" So the man of the city told him, "It is the tomb of the man of God who came from Judah and proclaimed these things you did against the altar of Bethel." Then he said, "Leave him alone. Let no one move his bones. So his bones were saved along with the bones of the prophet who came from Samaria. Now Josiah also took away all the shrines of the high places, the ones the kings of Israel made in the cities of Samaria, to provoke the Lord to anger. And he did to them as he had done in Bethel. He put to death all the priests of the high places on the altars, and burned human bones on them, and returned to Jerusalem. King Josiah commanded all the people, saying, "Keep the Passover to the Lord our God, as it is written in the book of the covenant." Such a Passover had not been held since the days of the judges who judged Israel, not in all the days of the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, the Passover was held to the Lord in Jerusalem. So Josiah put away those who consulted mediums and wizards, the household gods and idols, all the abominations that were seen in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem. He did so that he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. Before him there was no king like him, who turned to the Lord with all his heart, with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses. There was no king like him who arose after him. Yet the Lord did not turn from the fierceness of his great wrath aroused against Judah, for all the provocations of Manasseh had provoked him. So the Lord said, "I shall also remove Judah from my sight, as I removed Israel. I shall reject this city, Jerusalem, which I chose, and the house where I said my name shall be there." Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and everything he did, are these not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went to the aid of the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him. And Pharaoh Necho killed him at Megiddo when he confronted him. Then his servants moved his body in a chariot from Megiddo, brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own tomb. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, anointed him, and made him king in his father's place. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he became king, and he ruled for 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah, and he did evil in the eyes of the Lord, according to all the things his fathers had done. Now Pharaoh Necho put him in prison at Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he might not rule in Jerusalem. He imposed a tribute on the land, a talent of gold, and 100 talents of silver. Then Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in place of his father Josiah, and changed his name to Jehoiakim. And Pharaoh took Jehoahaz and went to Egypt, and he died there. So Jehoiakim gave the silver and gold to Pharaoh. But at the command of Pharaoh, he taxed the land. He exacted the silver and gold from the people of the land, from every one according to his assessment, to give it to Pharaoh Necho. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he became king, and he ruled for 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zebudah, the daughter of Pedaiah of Rumah. And he did evil in the eyes of the Lord, according to all his fathers had done.